Kính thưa quý vị khán giả của đài truyền hình Vietface TV, hôm nay Thiện Hạnh đang đứng tại nơi diễn ra cuộc tranh luận của các ứng cử viên Hội đồng thành phố Garland do Hiệp hội Người Mỹ gốc Á tại Dallas-Fort Worth tổ chức. Kính thưa quý vị, sau đây xin giới thiệu với quý vị một ứng cử viên của chức thị trưởng của thành phố Garland đến từ ngày hôm nay, ông Larry Jeffers. Thank you so much for joining here today.
Well, thank you very much for having Vietface TV here so that the people at home can see the candidates and learn a little more about us and what our plans are for governing Garland if we're elected.
Thank you. And my first question to you is, as one of the mayoral candidates, what's your main focus on Garland?
My main focus is jobs and economic development. In Garland, we have a lot of people that are underemployed or underemployed, and we need to bring more jobs in. We graduate more students from our schools than we have jobs for them. And economic development, people have more spendable income, and they can go to get their hair done, their nails done, and go to the shops in the area, and that'll help everybody's income. One of the things that we look at as a city is actually how many times people get their hair cut. And downturn in the economy, people slow down going to the barbershop, going to the beauty parlor. But as times get better, that enhances. And so bringing jobs and bringing more economic development helps everybody throughout the city.
Well, my main focus is just like everybody else is economic development. And we have an opportunity to keep taxes lower and improve services. If we could bring more businesses, commercial and industrial businesses to Garland. But my focus really is on small businesses. I mean, I was a small business owner. I am a small business owner myself. And I would love to see us encourage that climate so that we would have more participants in that area.
Main focus will be on economic development. We need to bring in new businesses. We need to attract companies to come to Garland. And, one of the main things I think we need to do as a city to do that is market ourselves more. And I think we cut ourselves short. So that'll be one of my main focuses along with public safety.
I think primarily we have a lot of services and things that we all agree to that we need. But we also have to look at how we're going to finance those and pay for them. We've got to find a whole new model of operating in the business of the city so that we can bring more revenue than what we've been doing in the past. Our old system is reaching build out, and that means that we don't have any more room to build on. So if we're going to be able to go forward, then we have to absolutely focus on new methods of doing construction and other ways of filling in.
Thank you. And second question is, speaking of the recent economic downturn, and obviously we're going through the recessions right now, what will you be planning to help businesses as well as Garland residents in general to go through this successfully?
Well, that's an excellent question because we actually have probably some of the best plans in the Metroplex. We've redone our comprehensive plan, which is what the city uses in order to guide us where we're going to put our investment, how much infrastructure we're going to need, and perhaps even the zoning that's going to be in different areas. And we've completely redone that plan, and now we're trying to execute it. But it focuses back on the internal parts of the city instead of just expanding ever wider, which we no longer can do, obviously.
Well, I spoke earlier about incubator business. Are you familiar with incubator business and TIFs? Incubator business would be like in our empty areas. Business would locate there for a certain amount of time, and when they get the opportunity to grow, they would leave that area so somebody else could come in. Well, the business is sitting there. I mean, the buildings are sitting there right now. So we need to start to thinking outside the box, as it were. We have these codes that keep new businesses from coming in. We need to start to thinking about how we can improve the climate of business here. And that's what I would do really and truly, is to bring in like downtown. I mean, I know that's just one area, but I think that our downtown is like the center. And what we need to do is to bring businesses down there on the weekends so people get started going back downtown, So.
Well, one of the things we can do is streamline the regulations, make it easier for them to do business here. We need to be more business friendly. If you have a small shop and you're working away and the code comes in, if there's not something that really is going to affect the health and safety of someone, we need to be a little more liberal in how we deal with those things to give the company and the business a little time to take care of it. We can't run them out of business just because there's a loose tile or small piece of something in there. We need to be more acceptant of situations, again, that are not health, life, safety. We need to make sure that the city is well cared for. But the rate at which a small business can do that, it may be the difference between them succeeding and failing. What we would see is a minor issue. If all you're making is basically your wages so that you can live and pay your shop rent and keep up the business, and then we come in and it's going to charge you, or it's going to cost you $4,000 or $5,000 to do something.
Thank you. My third question is probably the most concern for news residents coming into Garland. The school ratings here is 6 out of 10 compared to Richardson's and Plano 8 out of 10. What do you think about it, and what are you doing to help?
Well, the one thing that we can do to help is to really visit schools more and provide more mentorship opportunities to the students there and be the backbone. Well, there is a partnership between the school district, the city, the chamber, and the Dallas County Community College District right now. But what we need to do as individuals, even without it being a political thing, is to visit those schools and try to encourage the teachers there.
The school systems are completely separate from the administration of the city government. That's their ISDs, independent school districts here in Texas. But I'm a retired college professor. I've taught for 40 years. I've worked in multicultural situations, and I've worked around. One of the things we can do to enhance education is bring in more technical occupational education. I'm working with South Garland High School right now to bring new shops and labs in there. I volunteered to work with them to help the design. I've been there during the construction process, and I think that helps tremendously, because as we bring in more technical education, we reduce the amount of dropout we have. When students are more interested in learning, then they learn more, and I think that's important, and that's one of the things that I think we can do more of here in Garland and throughout the state of Texas.
Well, there's two different things. Actually, Garland has some excellent ratings at different campuses and different programs, some of the very highest in the state. If you're fortunate enough to be able to take those different programs and look at them, then you can get an excellent education here. I guess my biggest concern is with declining property values that we've been experiencing, and also a tax rate cap on the school district, there'll be less money for schools going forward. So if we don't change how the city does business, then the schools are going to be impacted just as much.
Kính thưa quý vị khán giả, sau đây xin giới thiệu với quý vị ông Scott LeMay, ông là ứng cử viên thứ hai của học khu số 7. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having us here.
Well, my first questions for you is, speaking of the economic downturn, and obviously we are going through the recessions right now, what are you planning to help small businesses as well as the residents in general?
Right. Well, recently I met with the new owners of the Saigon Mall, and they are bringing the market back. And we've been working with them on how to get that market reestablished, and they should be open very soon. And it's going to be with the community's help to promote it.
Kính thưa quý vị, và sau đây xin giới thiệu với quý vị ông John Kirby. Ông đang ra tranh cử trước của học khu số 7 tại Garland City Council. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
You're welcome.
And my first question to you is, speaking of the recent economic downturn, and obviously we're going through the recessions right now, what are you going to do to help small businesses as well as Garland residents in general?
We have a challenge at Garland, small businesses do. We have a code that's taken a life of its own, that's making life difficulty on small businesses. We have got to improve our code, get out of having them jump through hoops just to do business here. That is one of the things I'm going to focus on.
Bà Wei Wei Zhang là chủ tịch của Hiệp hội Á Châu, người Mỹ gốc Á tại Dallas-Fort Worth. Thank you so much for joining here today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for reporting on this very important event.
As a guest here, how did you feel today?
I think the turnout was great, and we have all of our candidates here, made themselves available and answered all of our questions, so I'm very, very pleased.
And what do you think is the most important for us Asian American to be focused on?
Well, I think Asian American community in general have low turnout at the voting booth. So we want to encourage everyone to get educated on the candidates, get educated on the issues, and then go out and vote. Get registered to vote, of course, and then go and vote on the polling day. So.
Và bây giờ xin giới thiệu với quý vị ông Sammy Yang. Ông là Phó Chủ tịch của Hiệp hội Á Châu, Hiệp hội của người Mỹ gốc Á tại Dallas-Fort Worth. Thank you for joining us today, Sammy Yang.
Thank you for the opportunity. And as the Community Affairs Officer of APCA at AT&T, I'm very honored to host today's program. And AT&T has supported a lot of local community services. And for DFW Asian American Citizens Council, we encourage Asian Americans to get involved with the election. So as the chair of Election Forum, I'm very honored to run this as the second time. Last year we did at UT Dallas. So it's really a win-win situation for the candidates. They can have a voice to be heard. And as Asian American, we strongly encourage them to get involved, and thank you very much.
Kính thưa quý vị, sau đây thì Hạnh xin giới thiệu với quý vị một người Việt Nam đến cuộc hội thảo tranh luận của các ứng cử viên thị trưởng của thành phố Garland ngày hôm nay. Cô Kim Dung, xin chào cô.
Dạ chào Thiên Hạnh. Phải cháu Thiên Hạnh không?
Dạ đúng rồi, Thiện Hạnh. Xin cảm ơn cô đã đến đây ngày hôm nay và cô cảm giác như thế nào khi tham dự cuộc hội thảo tranh luận này và lý do tại sao cô đến đây ngày hôm nay?
Cô đến đây ngày hôm nay vì cô là resident của cái thành phố này trên 30 năm rồi. 6 năm nay đó, ông Mayor John đó, ông đã làm rất nhiều việc cho người Á Đông. Thành ra cô cảm thấy là cô phải đến hôm nay để cố gắng chọn được một người nào họ cũng sẽ có thiện cảm với người Á Đông mình, nhất là người Việt Nam mình, để giúp đỡ mình trong những cái vấn đề tiến triển ở thành phố này.
Kính thưa quý vị khán giả của đài truyền hình Vietface TV, quý vị vừa theo dõi xong phần phóng sự ngắn và phần phỏng vấn với các ứng cử viên thị trưởng của thành phố Garland. Và buổi tham luận này được tổ chức bởi Hiệp hội Á Châu, Hiệp hội người Mỹ gốc Á tại Dallas-Fort Worth. Thiện Hạnh tường trình từ Dallas-Fort Worth.